Hi and welcome to Rainey Dewey's Art Spot. My name is Lorraine. My nickname is Rainey and you can call me Rainey. This little guy here is my kitten Bob, and he came to be a part of my family here with my dog Tucker on May 24th. He was 8 weeks old. And so he is quite a lively little addition, and he always likes to walk on my art desk. Anyway, that's Bob. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the creative process and the things that are to be gained from pursuing a creative practice. Now, when I say creative practice, it can mean anything. For me, it means painting and drawing and doing things like that. And I also love to garden, though badly. I do it badly, but I enjoy those kinds of things. You know, when you have a garden, it's nice to be able to design it with shapes, colors, and textures. When you paint, of course, you're observing your world and you're painting those things around you. So I have always felt very grateful, sometimes frustrated, but grateful that I have a creative outlet. I've been painting or drawing or being creative in some way for as long as I can remember. When after my parents died, my sister was going through their papers, and she found a letter that I'd written to my dad. We had moved from Seattle to Alabama, and my father went ahead of us. And so I'm sure my mom said, write Daddy a letter. So I did. And, you know, of course I said I missed him and loved him, but I also said in closing that I needed to go do my artwork. And I was 7 at the time. I have no artwork from those days, probably thankfully so. But it's been something that, I was born with. I believe it's a gift from God. Now, over the years, I've had all kinds of grandiose ideas about the art. And now at this stage in my life, you know, some of those grandiose ideas, well, all of those grandiose ideas have not come to fruition, with the exception of the fact that the only exception is that I'm still painting, regardless of no grandiose results. And I'm enjoying, I think I might be enjoying it more than I ever have. I'm semi-retired. I retired and then I went back to work part-time. And so working 3 days a week still allows me plenty of time to be creative. And for me, creative is a lot of different things, as I said before. My primary medium for many, many years was watercolor, and I still enjoy it, but I'm pivoting at the moment. Anyway, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. So, backtracking, let's see. I notice I put my hand under my chin to cover all these chins, so you'll have to excuse when I do this. You're going to know what I'm doing. Anyway, I made some notes, so if I look down, you're going to know that I'm looking down at my notes. So I have tried most mediums over the years. I started off, I took studio art in high school, and at that time, they actually gave you a set of oil paints. My friend Donna reminded me of that, and I had those. I still have some of those. So I did some oils in high school, acrylics also in high school, charcoal and pencil in high school. And hold on a second. Let me show you the portrait that I did of my sister in high school. It's, let's just say. Anyway, okay, I'm back. I have the canvas board. Let's see. Lorraine Dewey, it says. So here's the oil painting of my sister from high school, from my high school days. They hung it on the wall at the school, and I think it was because I got the skin tones right, but it doesn't really look like my sister with the exception of the fact that she had those bangs. And people would go, that's Bethy. Well, she had the bangs. She was a relative. It wasn't a stretch to say that was Bethy. Anyway, that is, gosh, one of the first oil paintings that I did in high school, and the only one that I have left here in my art archives. So those days, you know, I took art, but thankfully I took business and I learned to type, and that's how I have supported myself for all these years, being a secretary or whatever. So I also have done charcoal. I did a lot of charcoal when I was raising the kids. Some of it good, some of it bad. I have some of that. I will show you at a later date. And I think it was mostly charcoal. I don't think I did a lot of pencil work in high school. Anyway, it was just the one art class that I took, and it kept me in a creative environment, which I'm really thankful for. So once I was out of high school, I went to secretarial school, and then I got married pretty young, and I had twin boys, and Jonathan and Michael. So I'm going to put a picture of them here. And so over the years, I've always tried to continue to be creative in some way. For a long, long time, I painted mushrooms and bugs on wooden shingles. Hold on a second, let me go get one. So this is one that I did in 1973. You'll see my polka dot mushroom, and that fire hydrant was put there because my sister liked fire hydrants, and I always signed it with a rain cloud and raindrops for Rainey. And that was in 1973. And as the kids were growing up, I tried to earn some extra money for the household, so I painted mushrooms and bugs on wooden shingles with the little screw eye here. That was not a successful business endeavor. I had put them in a little shop in Rexford and on consignment, and the shop folded, and I never heard from them, and I never knew whether I sold any or not, but those were lost. So you can see that these grandiose ideas that I've had over the years, well, at least that wooden shingle one, didn't pan out the way that I had hoped. But still, I didn't stop painting or drawing. I did the wooden mushrooms in acrylics, which I have always found a bit frustrating. I have a love-hate relationship with acrylics. I'm still trying to work with them to this day, but only as a little bit of a side thing. I would try to take a break from my watercolor and do acrylics, and I'd be like, oh, brother, this is not working. So anyway, it was in the late 70s. I think it was 1987 or 89, I have to check to be sure, that my mother wanted to give me as a birthday present art lessons, which I think about that. If it wasn't for that gift that she wanted to give me and that she ultimately gave me, I wouldn't have found the most wonderful teacher, Karen Rosasco, who she was teaching an adult ed watercolor class. And I showed up that night, and I thought it was going to be oils. I didn't know anything really about watercolor except that they were for kids. And so I get there that night, and I brought my oil paints from high school, and it was watercolor. So she loaned me a piece of paper and a Crayola set, and I painted this barn. I didn't have any idea really what I was doing. It was a great approach. It's like, here, she loaned me the Crayola set and gave me a piece of paper, and we just painted. And so here you go. You ready? Ready for my very first, this is my very first watercolor painting. at the adult ed class that I took with Karen Rosasco. So I remember that night at the end of it, I'm like, I was deflated and discouraged. And I went up to Karen and I said, I don't think this is for me. And she said, give it some time, or some encouraging word. She didn't say, oh, your painting sucks. She was such a good teacher. Even when something bad, it was something that wasn't that great, she just was encouraging. And that held in good stead, because I did not quit. And I have continued to paint, primarily in watercolors over the years. But these days, I feel the urge, just this urge to do oils. Oils seem to be a little bit more flexible. You don't have to do as much pre-planning. You can paint with a long brush at a distance and stand up and move back. And, you know, I paint with watercolors in such a tight way. It was, I needed to take a break. So I'm pivoting now. I'm headed, trying to figure out how to do oils, and I'm hoping God will guide the brush, because when I have control over it, it really is just a crapshoot. So in closing this first video, I wanted to just say that this gift of creativity that God has given me is holding me in good stead, and has held me in good stead over the years. There are times when in my life things weren't going well, and I ran from my art, which was the big mistake. I should have run to my creativity. These days, you know, now that I'm a little older and my kids are grown and out of the house, I'm grateful to have this creative outlet, and I'm more forgiving of the ultimate outcome. Sometimes they're good and sometimes they're not. And you know what? I'm glad I'm so grateful that for the process. And so I would encourage any of you who want to paint to just get yourself a little Crayola set to start off with and see if you like it. Get yourself some good paper and jump in. So I'm going to be tracking this type of a post. Next time I will do a little painting for those of you who would like to get started on a creative journey that will take you to some wonderful, peaceful places. And in this world that we struggle with today, it's really imperative. It is for me that I have a place where I can go, where I can just be. I can be silent. A lot of times I'll have music going, but it's a place where I can go and I feel so connected to my Creator. So thank you so much if you watched to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. If you did watch to the very end, please leave a comment that says grateful. Anyway, I want you to consider painting if you haven't already. And if you are painting, please stop by again for more thoughts on the creative process and God's role in it all. Thanks.